the first 4 frames. Referees Rob Spencer.
Mark Selby и Jack Lisowski.
Lisowski will break off his home tournament, based just up the road from here.
Mark Selby, пятый в
He's been in
рейтингу.
good form this week, although he had to
Lisowski
scrap it out last night, I should say, against Fergal O'Brien.
играется
Thank you. The first frame.
четвертьфинальный матч турнира British Open.
So this best of 9 quarter-final, Jack Lisowski, the home favourite, gets the match underway. It's the 12th meeting between the two. Selby leads the head-to-head 6-5. That's not the best break by Jack. He's hoping for some cover here. For the red over to the centre pocket. Has he got the cover? These two last met in 2022. Selby ran out a 4-2 victory in the 4th round of the Scottish Open. He's had a let off there, Jack. He's managed to cover that red to the left centre with the brown.
Це буде пара другого півфіналу. Так матч грається.
It's close to the red, but it's a chance for Jack Lisowski.
Початок першого
His
фрейму.
hand on the table, get that Q arm going. Looking for his first ranking title. Can he have a breakthrough here this week? No better place for him to do it. On his doorstep. He's got to get past one of the hardest match players of all time in Mark Selby.
Так, Джек Лісовський забиває червоний шар ліву лузу. Вихід на розовий.
So he's got a few loose reds by the pack. He's got the red to the left centre.
Дальній удар
Need to
Лісовського.
navigate the cue ball in and out of bulk to
в першому фреймі. Вихід на чорний шар.
work out his path back down to the next red. Referee Rob Spencer, much experienced. Need very steady hands. Pink spot not available, so it goes in between the pink and black spots.
Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і йде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
A choice here, looking at the ball colours. The blue's quite thin. If he's going to play the blue, you're going into the pack of reds, so I suspect he's looking at the yellow instead.
So.
That's nicely played. Top side of the blue. That's got the red to the left of the pink, which will pop to the right corner. And that's his choice.
$60.
Trying to play for the pink here. Looks good. Now, by potting this pink, other reds will be opened. That was really well controlled by Lisowski. Now is he on a red? It's all very betwixt in between.
20.
Just wondering if he has a pot. I'm not sure he does. Lucky if he's not landed on anything at all.
Lisowski, 23.
Pretty decent return from Selby. Fascinating matchup between the two of them. Very much a contrast in styles. It's a good return from Lisowski. Nice pace on the cue ball. Even if Jack was to get past Mark Selby, still some heavyweights in the game, most notably Mark Williams, who was very impressive earlier today. Williams into the semi-finals. And Hussein Vafai, a very dangerous player, is also through to the last four. Mark Selby, if he can get through against Jack here, will also be fancying his chances. We know that he's likely to be the bookmaker's favourite to win it. So he won't be thinking about that. It's just a question of playing it one match at a time, as is the case for Jack Lisowski, concentrating everything on this match tonight to try and progress into the best of 11 semi-finals tomorrow. Oh, lovely shots. And we just saw an example of Lisowski's cueing there. Straight through the cue ball, controls it very nicely. He's one of the really good strikers of a cue ball, Jack Lisowski. Such a naturally gifted player.
Five.
He talked about his progress through to the quarter-finals. He had to really scrap it out against Fergal O'Brien last night. He was 2 down, turned it round to win 4-2. And even though he didn't play particularly well, he really did dig deep to get through that match. It was in contrast to his performance against Matthew Selt in the last 32, which he won by 4 frames to 2. The standard was exceptionally high in that game. But the evening session, it was a struggle, but he got through. Mark Selby also had a struggle last night. He managed to eventually beat David Gilbert in a dramatic conclusion to that final frame. And Gilbert winning off on the black.
13.
Sometimes when you should be going home and you manage to find a way to get through, which Selby did last night, you can turn your fortunes around very quickly. You become a really dangerous player to potentially go on and win the tournament. We'll see if that twist for Mark Selby last night can kick him into life here this evening.
Night. Twenty.
That's not worked out, I'm afraid.
26.
Be disappointed with that. Didn't cannon the Reds the way he wanted, and that's why he's lost the cue ball. Got a 49-point lead.
Вихід на чорний шар. Отримує правий лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє
Still
перший
83
фрейм
available on the
матчі
table,
з
so
рахунком 1-0. Лишається
needs to get a red
Лісовський.
safe, really.
4 фрейма
Just what
до
he's trying to do. He's
перемоги
overhit that, isn't he?
Jack Lisowski 26.
Okay. It's not a straightforward pot to the left centre, but he's given Mark Selby a tempter.
One.
And that's nicely controlled. That was a poor safety from Jack Lisowski. Mark Selby gets his first opportunity. Got plenty of points to play for.
Four.
Ende.
Fine.
Well, that's not quite worked out. He wanted a bit of angle on that pink. Hasn't come quite far enough, so he's now looking to see if there's any possible ways that he could get onto a red. So he's looking at the blue to hit this with some power. So just a safety, end of break.
Mark Selby.
Tom Ford's got off to a flyer. Table number 2. Mark wants it put back. A little chuckle with Jack Lisowski there. So Jack short with the roll up. Way short. Just going to say Tom Ford has gone one frame up on table number 2 against Xiao Guodong. A break of 90 from Tom Ford. There's 2 players from Leicester tonight, not just Tom Ford, but Mark Selby, of course, as well. Could both of them make their way into the semi-finals? Well, good start from Tom Ford on the other table. 1-0 up. That was nicely judged by Lisowski. Coming off the side cushion to rest up on the reds. Now, has he left this red? Can Mark get to the red to the right corner? Yeah, there you can see he can clearly get to that red. That was another mistake from Lisowski. Couple of safety mistakes, which he can ill afford to do against this man. Wanted that cue ball just to go through another couple of inches there. Black's still available, but it's much thinner than he would have liked. He's got this, the insurance, I should say, of the red by the blue, so cue ball will be running away, but he has got the red to the right of the blue. Well, he's missed the pot.
Mark Selby 1.
He's covered the two reds below the pink to the left corner, but Jack's got the red below the blue, which will pot. This was very thin. So 1 or 2 errors on both sides. And that's a nice clean pot from Jack Lisowski. Now a good chance to win the frame. $42 points the difference. 51 on the table.
8.
Red colour needed for the first frame, which will really settle Jack Lisowski down. And that should be a formality. Controlled that nicely. He's on the black, he's on the pink as well. Just needs the colour. Well, he's got a 50-point lead, but really he wants to pot another red to stop Mark from coming back to the table. So a bit of a disjointed first frame. Both players have made a couple of errors. Jack Lisowski in control. And that's definitely end of frame now. Lovely double. I think he might... I was thinking he might roll up behind the black to stop Mark from coming back, but he'll try and pot the pink. Nearly, but not quite.
17. On the first frame.
First frame goes to Jack Lisowski. A bit of an edgy first frame for both players, but it's Jack Lisowski who takes it eventually. No big breaks in the first frame, but the first frame always important. Lisowski leads 1-0. So Jack Lisowski's won the first frame. Made a couple of safety errors. Mark Selby didn't punish him. And that should settle Jack down. Let's pop over to table number 2, see what's happening over there. Tom Ford won the first frame with a break of 90. Xiao Guodong is in the balls in frame number 2 currently. On a break of 26, nicely in as well. He's on the black again here. Really fascinating matchup. Two players who'll both fancy their chances tonight. Both players have made ranking finals, but neither has won a tournament as big as this before. Xiao Guodong, who's a pretty heavy scorer. We know Tom Ford's a very good break builder, makes a lot of big breaks, but Xiao Guodong is capable as well in this department, so we're getting a chance to see his cue ball control. So it's a good opportunity for Xiao Guodong on table number 2. We'll be dipping in and out of coverage, of course, over there to see who's on top in its early stages. Tom Ford 1 up, but Guodong good chance in the balls in frame number 2. Break now moving on to 42. Plenty still available. Just waiting for Jack Lisowski to return to the Centaur Arena here at the Cheltenham Racecourse. Jack Lisowski based literally just up the road from here. And it's a tournament I'm sure that is one of the first he looks at, because anyone does when you're playing on home soil. And or home advantage anyway, and Jack Lisowski will be hoping that he can get past Mark Selby, who didn't play the best first frame, made a couple of mistakes himself.
Thank you. The second frame. Mark Selby to break.
So Selby cues off frame number 2. And he's left Jack Lisowski attempter from range. Black's tied up. Well, he's managed to release the black. Beautiful pots. And he's on the blue. That was an excellent shot from range. Nearly developed the black as well. Look at this for cueing again. Such a great ball striker. Jack Lisowski, really good cueist. That's really well played again. Struck that beautifully. Well controlled again. So he's on the pink. He was just looking to see if he held the cue ball on the pink ball spot where if the black spot was available. I don't think it is. We'll soon find out from referee Rob Spencer. Just having a look to see if the pink will spot on the black spot. Jack deliberately holding the cue ball there for that red to the left corner. And once again, he has to go directly above the black spot, below the pink spot in the position. Directly in line between the two spots.
90.
And Jack will play up for the blue here off this red. Must get top side, just about. He's got the red at the top of the cluster, which will pot to the right corner. So it's imperative here that he gets top side of the blue. And that's good. That's perfect. Now it's the red to the left of the cluster. He might angle the cue ball into the pushes the red towards the left corner. So he might not play this with full power. Just depends how he sees it. He went in fairly hard. It's ended up okay. Be happy with that. Although I say happy, he needs an angle on this red. There's not much of one. He's got a slight angle. Got to really force this.
32.
Just a safety now. Couldn't really generate the power he's looking for. So it's all about getting a good cue ball. That's what he's looking at now, to see where he wants to leave that cue ball. So there are a few reds available, so he needs to be careful. He needs to try and get right up against the cushion if he can.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Ball. Lisowski. 32.
He didn't play the cannon off the brown, but he'll...
Вихід на зелений.
Can Mark get to the potting angle, to the red, to the right centre?
Йде в цьому матчі з
In line
рахунком
of it here, so can't
1-0. Лишається
tell
Lisowski.
from the angle,
4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
but I think he can. I think he can get through to this.
One.
And that was another mistake from Jack. Safety. Again, it has to be better against this man. I know he didn't get punished in the first frame, but he shouldn't have struck the brown with the cue ball. The cue ball should have been tighter against the cushion. Got to cut out those errors. He knows that.
Three.
Well, that surprises me. He tried to pinch a little bit of the pocket. That's why he's missed it. But I didn't expect him to. Really, it's a shot he would never miss. He hasn't settled yet, Selby. So Jack Lisowski back at the table. Jumped out of his chair. Couldn't believe it.
One.
Unmissable, really, but it was just because he was trying to pinch a little bit of the pocket, I think. That's why he missed it. Maybe just a slight lapse of concentration. Either way, unexpected. So Jack's got this red thin cut to the corner pocket where his hand is.
5.
Still plenty of work to be done.
Six.
Well, he's opened up a couple of reds. Tricky, I'll say tricky-ish yellow from distance to the left corner. But being a left-hander, this might suit him. Right in the heart of the pocket from Jack.
8. Nine.
So pink to the left corner. Good pots.
$50.
League grows to 44 points. That was nicely cued. It's on the pink. He's going to need another red after the pink. This pink would put him 51 points in front with 59 on the table. He's got the red to the right corner, nearest to the cue ball, so just needs the red for Selby to require a snooker. Good chance, or very good chance now, that Jack Lisowski is going to open up a two-frame advantage.
23.
He's not in full flow yet, but he won't care. He leads. This pink will make absolutely sure. Mark Selby hasn't settled at all. Been given a couple of chances in both of the frames, but he's not been able to get his scoring boots on at all. Jack Lisowski's needed a couple of opportunities in both of the frames, but he's got over the line. You can see that at times he's cueing nicely. That was very clever.
37.
Switches to his right hand.
38.
Well, he's missed the black, but it does not matter at all.
On the front.
Jack Lisowski has won the first two frames against the 22 ranking title champion Mark Selby, who hasn't settled as yet. Jack Lisowski leads 2-0. Let's head over to table number 2. One frame all now, Tom Ford and Zhao Guodong. Tom Ford won the first frame of a break of 90. Guodong came back in the second frame of a break of 68. And all square. Plenty of reds open, so it's a question who can get in here. But one frame all on table number 2. A couple of breaks already in the match. That's a nicely crafted safety by Zhao Guodong. So Tom Ford has got his work cut out to get this safe. Red spread everywhere. Tatiana Wollaston, the referee. Also know Tom Ford extremely well. Is from the same area of the East Midlands, of course, from Leicester. Tatiana married to Ben Wollaston, who grew up with Tom Ford on the snooker circuit.
Правий лузу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм. Ведеться в матчі з рахунком 1-0. 4 фрейми до
That's on table number
матчу.
2. Early stages, frame 3, but as I say, Tom Ford in a spot of bother.
The third frame. Jack Lisowski to right.
So Jack Lisowski, 2 frames up, 2 more frames before the mid-session interval. Jack Lisowski's made 6 ranking finals. He's not won one yet. Most recent finals he appeared in were in 2021, the German Masters and the Gibraltar Open. Now 32, of course, Jack Lisowski looking for that first ranking title success. Mark Selby bidding for his 23rd. And really, at the moment, that wasn't an easy shot, clearly, but didn't get anywhere near it, and he's pushed the green right over the pocket. So Jack Lisowski knows that Mark Selby is currently struggling. There's Peter Ebdon, Jack Lisowski's coach, former player, former world champion in 2002, Ebdon. Looks after a number of players now. Jack Lisowski, most notably, also has the likes of Anthony McGill, Elliot Slesser in his ranks. Does Peter? It's a fascinating combination, isn't it? Peter Ebdon and Jack Lisowski, totally different contrast in styles, but Jack feels that Peter is ideal for his game, because Peter's not changing his natural style of play, but what he is doing with Jack Lisowski is he's trying to get him to work more on the mental side of the game, which Peter Ebdon, for those of you that remember, was a master at. That was tough. Jack couldn't see a safety, so Mark Selby has been given an opportunity. Said that a few times tonight, though. Let's see how he gets on this occasion. Will this settle him down?
One. Four. Five.
There's the loose red just above the black.
Seven. Eight.
Got a nice split on the reds, but is he actually on one? Again, I'm not sure at first glance.
50.
Got a nice split on the reds, but hasn't seemingly landed on anything. Having a look to see if the red passes to the yellow pocket, but not straightforward. And that didn't get that close.
Mark Selby 15.
I feel entitled to have expected to have been on something a bit easier, though. Just at the moment, he's got a lot of experience, Mark. He won't be panicking, but just finding it difficult to get into any kind of rhythm at the moment. Jack Lisowski back at the table again. Well, that is very fortunate. Flick off the blue. So he went for the double, was way off it, and then look at that. Remarkable. Got a tough black, though. But look at how the reds have opened up. There's a few reds available here. So fully focused on this black to the right corner. That's a good pot. Got the red by the yellow to the left corner. This was a good bit of fortune. When you get those flicks and it's going your way, you must take advantage of it. No point feeling sorry for your opponent, and none of these players will. They know when they get that bit of rub of the green, they need to really take advantage of it. Keep their opponent sat in the table, frustrated. Or sat in the chair, even. Well, this time it was Jack trying to just pinch a little bit in that pocket, and he's missed the red. And again, it's a red, which is almost, well, certainly a player Jack's class is unmissable. But just trying to pinch a little bit in the pocket, I think that's why he missed it. Similar to the red that Mark Selby missed in the previous frame, in that very same pocket.
Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і йде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Yeah, sure. 50.
Got a nice bit of angle on this black. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. That's the best shot Selby's played in this match so far by a long way. Could not have hit this any better.
20.
Beautiful strike. Might well be a frame winner.
24.
So Mark beginning to find his range.
$32. $13. 40.
51 points the difference now.
47.
This red will put Selby 52 in front.
It's
been a good break, this. He's really just sped up a little bit, and he looks like he's hitting the ball nicely now. Getting his first frame on the board. Knocking in the first half century of the match as well. 55 and counting. I'll really try and move the red off this red. Let's see if he's got the angle. No, he didn't have the angle, so he's going to try and move it off the green, where he's got the perfect angle. Very nice.
64.
He can't quite make the century.
64.
But he's still got a possible 98 on here if he can pop the pink and then take the colours. Just sending a message to Jack Lisowski that I will punish you.
72.
Now that I've got my eye in and the Q arm going. A couple of chances were missed in the first two frames by Mark Selby, but this has been much more like the Mark Selby we come to expect, much more clinical. He's taken these very well.
$73. 76. 80. 85. 90.
Cue ball control's been really good. As the break has gone on, he's got
98 on the frame.
much more deft with that cue ball control, and that was an excellent break of 98 from the four-time world champion. Reduces the arrears to 2-1 Lisowski. Right, let's have a look what's happening on table number 2. Mark Selby then reducing his arrears, 2-1 to Jack Lisowski on table number 1. Currently on table number 2, still playing the third frame, and it's in the balance. Gudong has a 14-point lead, but Tom Ford is in. Only 3 reds left on the table. One is right by the pink, by the side cushion. So this frame very much in the balance. Tom Ford has got an angle with the cue ball, which will take it over towards the pink and red here. Looks like he might be playing the snooker. Or has he come far enough? I don't think he has. Look at the shake of the head. He can't believe it. Short of pace. You can see he's frustrated because he should have been past that pink. He snookered himself. And now he's got to not only connect with one of the reds, but got to get it safe. This actually is not straightforward.
Вихід на зелений І Джек Лісовський
currently on table number 2.
в цьому матчі з рахунком
Tom Ford,
1-0.
having had control of the table, has now lost control of the table.
До перемоги в цьому
But that
матчі.
frame still very much in the balance. One frame all on table number 2. Tom Ford and Zhao Guodong will keep you right up to date with what's happening there throughout the evening.
The fourth frame. Mark Selby to break.
Final frame before the mid-session interval. Mark Selby 1, Jack Lisowski 2. Jack won the first 2 frames. Mark Selby back with the highest break of the match so far, a break of 98, reducing the arrears to 2-1. And if Mark can win the next frame, go into that mid-session interval at 2-2, he'll be the happier of the 2 players. Jack Lisowski won the first 2 frames. Wouldn't say Jack's been in full flow yet. Both the frames he won were a bit bitty, but we've seen moments of his class when he's at the table. Hasn't quite got fully going yet, but he still leads, and he could still come out of this mini session with a 3-1 advantage. So it's a frame you feel that could have some significance on the match, especially if Jack can win it. Unfortunately for Jack Lisowski, the red which cannoned the other red to the left of the table, I think is on. Mark's also having a look to see if the other red's available. 2 left from the pink, but I think there is a loose red near the side cushion which will pot. He's having a look at any other options, but settling himself down for this red. And that was excellent. And he's got top side of the blue as well. What a very good shot that was, Mark Selby. You just felt in that last frame he was beginning to settle down. Also, there's plenty of work that needs to be done. This is a bit of a chance.
6. 7.
Yeah, played that well by opening up a few more reds. He knew he'd be on the red still to the left corner, opening up a couple of reds in the process. Definitely hitting the ball well, Selby. Saw it in that last frame. He started off this frame in a similar vein. Quite ominous, really, the way he's hitting the ball. And the cueing just slightly awkward. He's worried about landing on the black here. Might be cannoning the black. There's a bit of angle here. Just see if he can control this. He's played that well. Has to do a little bit of work with the cue ball though, after potting this black. To punch it in off the angles. Again, it's really well played. Can position the cue ball better by hand. Looking really good at the moment, if you can keep it going.
28.
That's okay. Got the blue to the left corner. Will only place that chair when your opponent is striking the ball as well as Mark Selby is at the moment. Still got a bit of work to do though to try and win the frame. So has got the angle off the black, and if he can get this cannon right, could be a frame winner. I don't think he has got it right. That's gone wrong.
50.
Let's end a break. So there could be a reprieve for Lisowski.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Mark Selby 50.
50-point lead. Second half century of the match from the jester of Leicester.
Веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Lisowski. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
That's a mistake. Has Jack left anything? Question is, does the red pass the pink? It does. There's the proof. That was off the safety mistake from Jack Lisowski. Oh, that's a surprise. Didn't expect Mark to miss that. He was automatically landing on the pink because he was cannoning the other red, but The only consolation is that red has gone out of commission. He has given Jack Lisowski, though, an opportunity to get back into the frame. He's got the red that passes the yellow to the yellow pocket. Nice bit of angle off the brown. A couple of loose reds to the right of the pink. Hard work will begin shortly here, because this is certainly not a frame-winning opportunity. There's a lot of work to be done.
No. So.
Well, he's got this red now to the right of the pink.
Sevens.
Tricky though. Test of his cueing. And that was nicely played. Getting on to the next red though, not so straightforward. Going to try and nudge open one of the reds. He's having a look to see unless he can pop the black and play one of the reds to green pocket maybe. Having a look at all options, maybe the red to the yellow pocket from range. Just drop the black in, and then it just depends on how he sees it. He's now looking at other options as well. So he's going to play, presumably, one of these reds to the green pocket.
20.
Oof, got very close.
25.
Couldn't have got much closer. So Mark Selby has a red now to the left centre. Quite a thin one, but will land on a colour. He'll be taking this on. And that's well played. A bit of angle on the black, so may well play up for the reds above the green. This was a good pot. He does have that ability when he misses a ball he shouldn't miss, which happened when he was on that break of 50. He puts it out of his head, back at the table, and then strokes the red in. He wants to avoid the brown. He's not done it. So it's going to be a safety here. Leave the cue ball where the red is. Get the red back down the table. Try and put Jack Lisowski in a spot of bother.
Selby.
Вихід на чорний шар. Забиваю праву лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Approaching an hour in the match. Frame number 4, not far away from its conclusion. 33 points the lead for Selby. 51 left on the table. Certainly the onus is on Lisowski to try and maybe bring the reds into play in some form without leaving anything on. That's not going to be easy, so I think he's just going to be able to play off this one red here. Decent cue ball. He has pushed the black quite safe. Well, certainly in a more difficult position. Just a roll up from Mark. Jack was looking to see if the plant was on. To see if he was to play the cue ball down here, he wouldn't be leaving a plant on to that left corner pocket. Mark will probably play the same shot back here. Cue ball onto the red, into the black as a stopper. Although he's looking at these other two reds again, but not sure he wants to move those two reds by the left side cushion unless he has to. He may well play the red into the black, bring the cue ball back down where he's standing. So just a thin snick off the red. He decided to play the red up towards that right side cushion. Nothing wrong with that. Well, Jack's having a look to see if he can make the plant. I mean, it must be close, but he's looked at it on a couple of occasions now. Having said that, it has to be so accurate on a table like this. The corner pocket is so tight. But he's looked at it a few times, so he's almost talking himself into it. He played it in such a way that the cue ball would come back down by the black. It's actually not worked out too badly for Jack Lisowski because the reds have come into play. He's got the cue ball back where he wanted it to be in case, or to give himself some sort of form of insurance as well, to make, if he does leave a pot on, it wouldn't be straightforward for Mark, and it certainly isn't. It's going to be a safety back, it seems. Containing one. Good cue ball from Jack. Played that as a shot to nothing, which has worked out well for him. So 33 points the difference, still 51 left on the table.
Вихід на чорний шар. Замовив правий лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Yeah, it's taking Mark a while this to try and make sure he doesn't leave anything for Jack Lisowski. Mark doesn't really want to move the reds, which are out of commission on this side cushion and bottom one, but he's got no choice really here. Certainly he'll keep the other one right up against the cushion to the left of the black. but that's okay. Be pleased just to roll that red up by the black. Jack Lisowski is going to have to try and make something happen here. Try and get back into the frame. Because at the moment, 33 points looks a big lead for Mark Selby. That's not too bad, actually. The black's been opened up. He's got that red back into the centre of the table. But Mark, you feel, just put this red out of commission again by the blue. He's so tough to play against when it's like this. When the frame gets a bit disjointed, when he has a good lead, it's difficult to get back into a frame because Mark Selby very rarely plays the wrong shot. And this time he's forced the error out of Jack Lisowski. I think the cue ball passes to black. That red, I think it does go past. Oh no, it doesn't go past the yellow. I thought on first inspection it passed the yellow. It doesn't. Again, Mark Selby controls it so well. He's got the snooker. Tom Ford has levelled up the match on table number 2 with an excellent break of 79. Tom Ford and Zhao Guodong go into their mid-session interval, 2 frames all. We could be heading the same way here. Best of 9's mid-session interval after 4 frames. This frame taking reasonable length of time. Jack goes for the red from distance. Needs a bit of help here, and he's got it. He's not left it. Good shot. Got a bit of cover there behind the pink. Acknowledged by Jack, the tap on the table. Here's confirmation on table number 2. Tom Ford. This was a really good break because he was under a bit of pressure against Zhao Guodong. A really nice response from Ford. Mops up with a break of 79. And they've got into their mid-session interval. 2 frames all. So Tom Ford, Zhao Guodong at their mid-session interval, 2 frames all. Jack Lisowski missing. Miscalled. Rob Spencer, the referee, just checking with Leo Scullion about the position of the cue ball. That's well played. $37 points, the difference, still 51 on the table if you take blacks with the reds. So Selby very much in control of the frame, but Lisowski still hanging in there. Don't think Mark can get to that red by the yellow pocket, so he's got to be careful where he leaves the cue ball here. Unless he decides to come off the cushion and to move that red. That's what he's elected to do, was to move it. But he's leaving it on. Chance for Lisowski from distance. That's all it is, though, is a chance. It's not so much potting the red, it's about and getting on the colour and then getting the other two reds into play. But at least it's a chance to come back into the frame.
Забиваю праву лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
He's missed the pink, unfortunately. 36 points the difference, 43 on Mark, just needs the red, and that should be a formality. I'll be disappointed with that pink. And Selby ought to get this red in. That's all he needs. And it's there. This blue will make it 42 points the difference, 35 on the table. Got a lucky glance off the brown there, put his hand up to apologise to Lisowski. No heroics here, just roll the red in. That will settle the frame. Oh, he's missed it.
Mark Selby 6.
2 4-point snookers required. Jack's quite right to come back out of his chair. Surprised Mark didn't drop that red in. He did try to, but was inaccurate. So Jack pots the red. He has to land on a high-value colour here. Well, this is going to take some shot on the black.
Black ball, thank you.
He's taken it well. Now he can try and get one of those snookers off the yellow here, get in behind the brown.
8.
So 34 points the difference, 27 on. That's 2 snookers required, and good chance of getting one here. Trying to get that yellow right up against the blue. That's okay. In an ideal world, he'd like to be closer to the brown, but he's done the right thing there. He's got the yellow right by the blue. So Mark has to judge this. Knows he can afford to foul once. Being a snigger there with the referee, Rob Spencer. So this is all about accurate control. Well played. Nearly the in off. And Jack try and get in behind the blue here with the cue ball. That's exactly what he's done. That's a good shot. That's much better. In a sense, he's got the cue ball tighter against the blue. Would have preferred the yellow to be off the cushion a little bit. But that was a good shot from Jack Lisowski. Still 2 snookers required. Coming off 2 cushions, make it 3. Well controlled. Hasn't got the snooker this time. Mark will be taking this yellow on. Pot the yellow, and that will be the end of frame. Didn't get anywhere near that. Jack trying to get in behind the pink. Good effort. Mark's played that well. He's got a snooker back. Oh, that's a nice little glance off the yellow. Has he got a snooker back? I think he has. A little grin there and smile from Mark Selby. An acknowledgement. Played in a good spirit. Big target there when the yellow's by the side cushion. Oh, that's a surprise. Referee Rob Spencer, you may have heard him there saying, I don't think it is a free ball. Jack Lisowski's desperately hoping it is. Oh, it is a free ball. Okay. One snooker required. If he takes the black as a yellow, that will reduce the arrears to 28 points with 27 on. So the black becomes a 2-point value. So Jack pots the black. He wants to get close to the yellow. Try and keep the cue ball by the blue. This frame has still got mileage in it. Just needs the yellow to pull up. Just wanted the cue ball to be not quite, so I think Mark can just get through to this. It's very tight with a trace of right hand side. It's obviously very close, so it's got to be very careful with the cueing here. Jack will be disappointed didn't get in behind the blue there. Longest frame in the match by some way, this. Trying to push the black safe. Didn't quite manage that. So one snooker required. But Lisowski showing some good battling qualities in this frame.
І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
anxious look from Jack here. Wants that yellow to go up against the left side cushion. Slightly bounced. So will Mark Selby take on the yellow? No. Plays the safety. And that's a mistake. So this time, Lisowski makes the error. Didn't want to cannon the green with the yellow. 30 points the difference, 25 on. Jack will come back to the table though.
Mark Selby.
I suspect what Jack would like to do is pot the green and brown here, because then he needs one 5-point snooker to tie. Well, he's still elected to try and play the snooker with the green. He hasn't got it off behind the pink. I don't think he'd be against potting the green and brown if it should present itself, because a 5-point snooker would tie. As it stands, he needs two 4-point snookers to win the frame. So will Jack try and pot the green here and try and pot the brown? See how he feels. No, he's going to keep the green on the table. So he's going to still try and get the two 4-point snookers. Personal choice, and with more balls on the table, better the chance of getting the snookers, of course. Tries to get in behind the black. Mark trying to get in behind the brown. And he's played that very well. Lisowski, if he misses this, I'm sure that will be end of frame. Nowhere near it. That'll be enough of that frame, I'm sure. Yes, concession. Mark Selby responds well.
22, Jack, so it'll be 42, 57.
Jack Lisowski went 2 frames up, but Mark Selby responds with breaks of 98 and 50. They're level at the interval, 2-all. So a reminder that on table number 2, Tom Ford and Zhao Gudong are back at the table. 2 frames all in that match as well. Play has resumed on table 2. As we can look at the scorelines of today's quarterfinals, the afternoon tables, Mark Williams looked in very good form. He beat Fan Zheng Yi by 5 frames to 1, not the highest break of the tournament in so far, a 1-3-8. And Hossein Vafai, he was a 5-2 when he won 5 frames in a row. Who will join them? We'll find out shortly. So table 2 back underway. Tom Ford and Zhao Gudong, 2 frames all. Been some Decent breaks in the first 4 frames. Tom Ford made a really good clearance in frame 4 to level up the match. He's at the table at the moment on a green. Big match for both these players, a chance to make the semi-finals of the Kazoo British Open. Tom Ford, who grew up with Mark Selby on the Leicester circuit. Results in general have been pretty good over the last couple of seasons. Zhao Guodong hasn't quite hit the heights that he would have wanted. Guodong, a player who I remember reaching the final of a big event in China a number of years ago, lost to Ding Junhui. He's had 1 or 2 runs since then, but he's not quite hit the heights he would have wanted. Tom Ford shaking his head here, though, because he's not landed on a red kindly at all. So he's got a tricky red now to the yellow pocket he's sizing up.
Tom Ford, 4.
So it's one of those matches which you wouldn't be surprised if it went the distance. First to 5 to book their place in the semi-finals. Mark Williams and Hussein Vafai winners earlier today. Mark Selby, Jack Lisowski, 2 frames all on table number 1 at the mid-session interval.
Вихід на чорний шар. Замовляємо праву лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Lisowski виграє перший фрейм і буде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Lisowski. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Good pot from Tom Ford. He's nicely on the black as well. I'm pleased with that one. From distance, cued it well. Ford has already had a couple of good breaks in this match. Breaks of 90 and 79. This is a chance now in frame number 5. Plenty of reds available here. Normally, Tom is pretty deadly in the balls. Knocks in a lot of big breaks.
No. $16.
So welcome back live. Quarterfinals night, the Kazoo British Open at the Centaur at the Cheltenham Racecourse. Mark Selby, Jack Lisowski at the mid-session interval, 2 frames all. Selby responding, having trailed by 2 frames to 0. Tom Ford and Zhao Guodong at 2 frames all. Tom Ford nicely in the balls at the moment. Good chance of getting a big advantage in frame number 5. Plenty available, as you can see. Stay on the black again here.
25.
Tom Ford, who
32.
I know he's been playing in a unit somewhere in Leicester, and last time I heard him talking about it, Joe O'Connor plays at the same setup as Tom. Joe O'Connor, of course, who we saw really come onto the scene last year.
33.
Oh dear me, that's a bad miss on the pink. Did not see that coming. What a miss this was. Unexpected, to say the least. Big match, of course, though, for both players. A chance to make the semi-finals. So that's ongoing on table number 2. And as I say, it could go either way, that Tom Ford and Sharon Gudong. What we'll do now, though, is focus on this afternoon's action. And one player who was just rolling back the years again was Mark Williams. Let's hear from him through to the semi-finals.
97% pot success. Just how close was that to as well as you can play?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the first few games I was either potting every long ball in sight, missing sitters, or the next game I potted, didn't miss one sitter, couldn't pot a long ball. And today it's sort of all come together.
Especially when things aren't going his way and he manages to find a way through. That happened against David Gilbert last night. It was a match he should have lost.
No.
Or certainly, say he should have lost. He could have won it a few times earlier on, but in the final frame, it really could have gone either way. Just a bit of misfortune on Gilbert's part. And Mark Selby found himself in the quarter-finals, and he is one of those players, when he's almost out of a tournament, he finds a way to get through. He can get stronger.
60.
We've seen it time and time again from Selby.
Yeah. Just wait. Can you just turn the volume down on your earpieces if you're sat near the front, please?
Referee Rob Spencer asking for one or two headsets to be turned down. Obviously, Mark can hear the commentary from through the headset. That'll be through the broadcaster in the UK.
24.
Well controlled. Nudging open a couple more reds. Nicely on the blue. Selby then getting back into the groove again.
30.
Psychologically, if he was to go 3-2 up, having trailed 2-0, how will Jack Lisowski respond to that? That is a question, of course, which we'll see needs answering if Selby can win this frame. There's still plenty of work to be done to win frame number 5. Mark Selby reached the quarter-finals of this tournament 12 months ago, lost to Mark Allen, who went on to reach the final before losing to Ryan Day. Black only just reached.
38.
So this is a thin cut to the right corner. Well, he's on the blue. It's not the easiest of queuing. Now he's looked at the bottom of the group, and that red will pot to the right corner, so this is going to be just literally stroking the blue in here, dropping it in. That's exactly what he's done. Played it well.
Правий лузу. Вихід на зелений.
44.
І
Didn't have to
Дженні
force it,
Соскі
just had to
виграє
drop
перший
it in.
фрейм і буде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0.
Still had to control it.
Лисовський.
He's on the red
4
nicely.
фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
45.
Open up the reds. Is he on anything though?
52.
Certainly not on anything easy at all. I mean, he's got into them nicely here, but he's not landed on anything nice at all. Good recovery,
53.
and he's on the blue nicely, and that should be a frame winner. Selby then. This black will put him 66 points in front. Still 75 on the table.
$66.
Red colour needed.
67.
This has been a really good break. A couple of times he just lost position a fraction, but he recovered it
70.
really well. As I mentioned a couple of times already earlier in this match, Mark Selby is definitely hitting the ball well. Yes, he's missed one or two earlier on in the match. Look at that for a red from distance. He was 2 frames down. He's now going into the lead for the first time. And there's no question at the moment he is playing much the better of the two. Can he make a century? Really good way to start after the mid-session interval to carry on the momentum of the 2 frames before the mid-session. 3 frames in a row now for Mark Selby. This has been a really good break. Looks very focused. This is going to be a real test for Jack Lisowski. That's another very clever shot from Mark Selby. Developing the red now. Definitely a big opportunity for the century break here. He can't get the highest break prize though. This red
99.
will be career century number 782 for Mark Selby. And in it goes. Possible 132 if he can clear the table. It's been excellent stuff
105.
from Selby. Looking very sharp now.
107.
2 frames away from another semi-final in a ranking event, putting Jack Lisowski under pressure. What can Jack find in the next frame?
110. $114. $119. $125.
This black for a break of 132.
150.
Very well played, Mark Selby, leading for the first time in this quarter-final against... So Mark Selby 3-2 up, needing 2 more for a place in the semi-finals of the British Open in Cheltenham. Right, join us on Eurosport 2 and our digital platform for the Dong. Won it on the black. He currently leads 3-2 and he's at the table in frame 6.
Okay. Frame 6. Mark Selby to break.
So Mark Selby's won the last 3 frames of this British Open quarter-final here in Cheltenham at the Centaur. 2 more frames away from a place in the semi-finals. Jack Lisowski, having won the first 2 frames, has not made a sizable break yet over 50. Now is the time for Jack to find his potting boots, because this match could be slipping away from him. Still got time to turn it round. Only 1 behind. And Mark Selby is starting to play particularly well now, so Jack Lisowski needs a response.
1.
That's a good way to start.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Mark didn't quite get into the break there, just caught the reds a little bit too thick. That's why the red came back up the table. And Lisowski was able to pot it into that centre pocket.
Вихід на
So
зелений.
Lisowski's in, just what he
І Джек
needed.
Lisowski виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0.
And that's
Лишається
pretty well
Lisowski.
controlled.
4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
6.
For Lisowski to win this match, for me, it will come down to him simply getting his scoring boots on. Even though he got quite close to pegging Mark back in frame 4, he eventually lost the frame. Jack is much more dangerous when he's in the balls, getting on with it. That's what he needs to do now, is to start scoring more heavier.
$14. $15.
Use the cue ball to pull up, that will be okay. That black will pot. He's opened up other reds. Taking his time for a moment, nothing wrong with that, just needs to compose himself. This is a good opportunity now beginning to present itself for Jack Lisowski, and this is the response he needs. And he's flowing
22.
in the groove. This is when he becomes such a dangerous player.
23. 30. Thirty. $36. $37.
Wants that cue ball to travel a bit more than that. Just a bit short of pace there. Have to go up for the blue here. Report colour if he goes
40.
too far past the blue.
$45.
Pretty good.
48. $49.
Nothing better than punishing your opponent after a mistake, and it was a rare one from Mark Selby in the last few frames. Jack's taken these pretty well, just short on one positional shot, which he's now corrected. Got back himself into prime position again. First half century of the match. This is what he needs to start doing. Start scoring. And we'll put a bit of pressure on Mark Selby then, especially if you can make a frame-winning break here.
$57.
So red will put him 65 in front.
60.
Still needs a colour. Blue will be enough for Mark Selby to require a snooker.
65.
So this blue, 70 points in front, 67 on the table. It's been a really good response from Jack. Could do with potting another red after this. They're going into them, and that's okay, I think.
70.
Just needs to make absolutely sure of the pot here. He could have done with that going in. This is not over the frame.
70.
Only one 4-point snooker required. Good break of 70 from Lisowski. But the frame not over yet. So Mark Selby only needs one snooker. We've seen it so many times with him.
One.
Wants to stay on blacks. It wasn't a straightforward pot for Jack Lisowski. We could see him
8.
having to bridge and to try and control that red to the corner pocket, but he desperately needed that because now it's going to be an uncomfortable sit. Because he knows Mark Selby is so good on the counter-attack in snooker. He gets an opportunity, even if he requires a snooker. A bit of a master at it. We've seen it over the years on so many occasions. So Jack Lisowski's got to hope that Mark Selby can go wrong.
60.
Now this will take some cueing because he needs to stay on the black, really. That's why he's doing the maths.
Вихід на чорний шар.
That's okay.
Правий лозу.
In the pink's the easier pot, but then you need a 4-point snooker to tie.
Перший фрейм веде в цьому матчі з
Black means he can
рахунком
still win
1-0.
if he
Лишається
gets the one
Lisowski.
snooker.
4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
So he'll pop this red, if he can, into the yellow pocket. Cue ball is a natural to come back down for the black. That's good. He's on the black now, so now what he wants to do is get the cue ball in a position where he can try and lay the snooker on the final red. Doesn't have to play the snooker on the red, there's only one snooker required, but he may elect to play the snooker on the red. We'll see, just depends on how he feels. Because there's only one 4-point snooker required to win the frame. It's not that he needs a free ball. $38 points a difference, 35 on. So one 4-point snooker required.
Selby 32.
Pretty good. Jack's got to be a little bit careful here. Needs to avoid the brown. That's pretty clever. He's got the snooker. So Jack's going to have to come. I don't think he can swerve the cue ball round. He's had a look. And he's going to have to come down where the black is. And he could miss it to the side. There is a gap. He could go around it. So this is tricky. Just got to be very careful he doesn't sneak round the side of this. Good hits. He could be in trouble again here. Not quite this time. It's in line with it. So can Jack just get through to the red? Looks like he can. Oh, he's got it off. Although, despite that, if anything, it's probably strengthened his position, as bizarre as it sounds, because the red's been potted. It won't obviously come back out. And now Mark Selby needs 2 4-point snookers. So Jack Lisowski will have a wry smile on his face. Mark, though, could get the cue ball in behind the brown here. That's what he's done. He wants this yellow right up by the black. That's a good shot. So whilst Jack knows he's got a bit more of a cushion now, what he wouldn't want to do is hit the black here, because then Mark Selby could tie if he cleared the colours. He can afford to give 1 foul away as long as it's not off the black. This is the problem when you play Mark Selby. You have to scrape him off the table. He makes it so difficult for his opponents to get over the line. That's a good hit. Very good hit. Acknowledged by Selby. Still 2 4-point snookers required. I can tell you on table number 2, Zhao Guodong is 1 frame away from victory. He's 4-2 up on Tom Ford on table number 2, Zhao Guodong. Now, can Jack Lisowski get to the potting angle? He can. It's not there, though. Close to the in-off. That was a bit close for comfort. Now, will Mark Selby elect to pot this yellow and try and get the cue ball up near the green, try and get a snooker behind the brown? He's got the angle to go up for it, so I suspect he'll pot this yellow.
Two.
Doesn't want the cue ball right up against this cushion. He wanted to be nearer the green than that. Having said that, he's still got a chance to get the snooker. Not quite so straightforward when there's a bit more distance between the cue ball and the object ball. He's controlled that really well. That's an excellent shot. That took some cueing. It really was a class shot.
Problem with the scoreboard.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Just heard an announcement from Rob Spencer about the scoreboard.
Yes. Yeah. So what the score is.
Це нове правило зу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм. Буде в цьому матчі
Just got to
з
put Mark
рахунком
Selby onto 38.
1-0. Лишається Лісовський.
Mark's
4
38.
фрейма до перемоги в
Mark's
цьому матчі.
38. 70. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Well, that is correct.
we'll carry on.
Neo Scullion is just trying to sort out the scoreboard, but we know it's, as mentioned, Jack Lisowski has hit the green. Well played. Mark, I don't think we'll want to pot the green, though. He needs to keep the green on the table. He needs 2 snookers. Black's out of commissions, which is not helpful either. Just ran on a fraction. Very thin from Jack Lisowski. Feeling pretty confident now that Mark needs 2 snookers and the black's out of commission. Mark could do with getting that black into play. Trying to go in behind the pink, which I think he's done. Good snooker. So Jack will have to come up the table again. Just clips the green. Mark would have loved to have seen the black come out, but it just missed it. He might get a snooker back here. He has. And Mark will have to just hit this with a bit of speed and try and get it safe. He's missed it, and that will be end of frame.
Foul. Jack Lisowski 4. On the
Frame concession, so Jack Lisowski back in the match. He needed that frame. Made a break of 70, his highest of the match so far. He had needed table number 1. Match in the balance. 3 frames all, Selby and Lisowski. So welcome back to table number 1 in his Kazoo British Open quarter-final. Mark Selby and Jack Lisowski locked at 3 frames all now. Lisowski desperately needed frame number 6. He managed to get it eventually, helped by a break of 70. So now it's effectively become a best of 3. 2 more frames required for victory. Meanwhile, on table number 2, Zhao Guodong is still going along, needing 1 more frame for a place in the semi-finals. And Tom Ford frustrated because he's had his chances, plenty of them.
Thank you. The 7th frame. Jack Lisowski to break.
So Jack Lisowski back in the match, having led 2-0, trailed 3-2, now 3 frames all. Decent break off. So Jack Lisowski pots the first red. The yellow's very thin.
Yellow ball.
Just a safety.
Jack Lisowski.
And that's a decent safety because he's stopped Mark Selby from coming off the side of those reds. took the red on, but hasn't left it. So match well poised here. Xiao Guodong, by the way, is getting very close to victory on table number 2. He's only a couple of pots away from securing his place in the semi-finals. Well, I think his break's come to an end, so there is still enough on the table for Tom Ford to find a way back in, but Xiao Guodong very, very close to victory on table number 2. Keep a close eye on that for you.
Выход на черный шар. Забываю правую лозу.
That's a good safety from Mark Selby. Nice pace on the cue ball.
І Lisowski виграє перший фрейм в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Lisowski.
Horrible shot to be faced with. If he takes that red on from distance, it's almost straight. But if he can't find a safety, might be forced into it, but he's looking for alternatives. You can't blame him.
Foul, miss. Mark Selby.
That would be going back. Not sure if it rolled off there, because if the cue ball had kept rolling, it would have gone into the pink.
Yes, that.
When you're playing at that sort of power, there's always that slight concern it can roll off. I'm not sure if it has or not. I'm not saying it has. It's just that was quite inaccurate there. So you might have just taken a slight change in course, the cue ball.
Quarter of a ball to you.
There's Leo Scullion, working in conjunction with Rob Spencer.
Okay.
Again, put to the right towards the pocket.
I think Jack's just have a look at that one because he's that this one ball that he'll be going for. Yeah. Leo, we're all right, I think. We're all
Sure. Okay.
You're all right, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay.
No? Okay.
Different choice of shots. Right, this is a tempter for Mark Selby. Red below the blue to the right centre. Will Mark be tempted by it? What good shot he was. Wants that cue ball to pull up. Just about has. He's just top side of the blue here. Good pot that. Well controlled by Mark Selby. Tom Ford is still going. He could steal that frame on table number 2. He's at the table. He needs all of the remaining colours. But he's got a chance, having looked down and out against Xiao Guodong. We'll keep a very close eye on that for you. Meanwhile, Mark's played a good shot there. Moving the red, he's on the black. He's got an angle on the black. He could... Can he hold for the red at the bottom of the group, though? I'm not sure he can. He's got a bit of angle on this. He might have to go into them. He's done it in a soft manner, so releasing a couple of reds. Knew he'd be on one of the reds to the corner pocket.
40. $50.
That's not a good chance yet, because it's still plenty of work and navigating to be done. He's not ideal here on a colour either, Mark Selby, so this is not straightforward. He's got the red to the right of the cluster. Tom Ford is about to clear the table, I think, on table number 2.
Green ball.
Which would be a remarkable turnaround in that frame. Nice pot of the green. Mark's on the red to the right of the cluster.
80.
And Tom Ford has just made a remarkable clearance on frame number on table number 2. He looked down and out, but he's cleared the table of a 64 clearance, wins it on the black, and he reduces his arrears to 4-3. He's back in the match. What a response from Tom Ford.
90.
Mark Selby's still going along here. He's on the red again. And there is Tom Ford. He'll be feeling a lot better after that clearance, I can assure you. He was really struggling after the mid-session interval. He's just played an absolutely unbelievable break under the circumstances. He had to clear up, and he did. That might just give him the lift he needs to get back into that match. We will keep abreast of that on table number 2. Zhang Guidong still only 1 frame from victory, but Tom Ford has got a lifeline. He's now only 4-3 down. To arc the cue ball into the reds here. Play this with speed. Is he okay? I think he's all right, actually.
42.
Does judge those shots in general very nicely indeed, and this is good stuff from Mark Selby at the moment.
43.
This black will be his 4th half century of the match. So 1 century so far. Nice cannon again. As I say, at times he looks to be hitting the ball as well as ever at times in this match. It's not all been plain sailing for Mark Selby tonight, as the scoreline will tell you, but there have been frames where he's looked as good as ever. And this has been, so far, a really good break. It's ideal again. Couldn't have placed the cue ball better by hand.
Вихід на чорний шар. Зимовий правий лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Lisowski виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Lisowski. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
So this pink put Mark Selby 66 points in front with 67 on the table. Just needs 1 more red after this pink. that should be a formality. Not sure the pink will spot here. I think it might go on the yellow. That's the only other spot available, the yellow one. Doesn't matter though. Mark only needs a red. It's been a really good break, this. There's a lot of work to do when he came to the table, but he's really gone about his business nicely here.
$64.
Jack is going to have to find something in the last two frames.
$70.
Do well to keep this break going now. Needs the spider, I think. It's very well played, though. Opening up the other reds. Right into the heart of the pocket.
72. $79.
8 out of 8 from the rest tonight, Mark Selby.
$80.
Can he make his second century of the match? Got a bit of work to do to get that other red potted by the left side cushion. But it's been an imperious break. Really has been top draw, this.
87.
Might play up for the pink here.
$88.
That's exactly what he's done. He's got an angle. So if he can get this right, it could be another century.
$94.
We'll need the extension to the cue. Focus fully on the pot. Will land on the black. He should pot it.
$95.
So just the black required for a magnificent century break. When he came to the table, there was so much work to be done. It has been a break of the highest order, this. Oh, what a shame.
Mark Selby, 95.
Black stays out. Terrific break of 95, though. Mark Selby is scoring heavily. And now he's 1 frame away from victory. He leads Jack Lisowski by 4 frames to 3. Selby playing well. He's 1 frame away. Let's go to table 2. Tom Ford, having got back into that match, now finds himself sat in his chair again. Zhao Guodong on a break of 47. 1 more loose red here. Zhao needing 1 more frame for victory. He's responded well, because losing that last frame would have really hurt when he was literally one pot away from victory. Now he's opened up the reds.
48.
And he's on the blue. So Zhao Guodong, still a little bit of work to be done here, but he's got a chance of winning frame and match. He's okay. He was a little bit concerned. He's on that red to the right corner. He's not overly happy about it, but at least he's on the red. For a moment, he thought he'd lost the cue ball completely, but it's held up. He's got the red to the right corner. It's an intricate one in terms of maintaining position. Break goes to 53. Zhao's highest break in the match so far, a 68 in frame 2. So this coming up here is a really important shot. If you can judge this and get onto a colour, very good chance he could get over the line here in this frame. He's potted the red. He's on the pink. He's on the pink. It's not straightforward, but he's on the pink. Good chance for Zhao Guodong on table 2.
Thank you, the 8th frame. Mark Selby to break. Jack. Jack.
Rob Spence having a chuckle there. Jack forgetting it was Mark's break. Mark Selby 1 frame away from a place in the semi-finals of the Kazoo British Open. Lisowski needs to win the remaining 2 frames to stay in the competition. Meanwhile, Zhao Guodong still going on table number 2.
61.
On a break of 61. It's only about 3 pots away from a victory and a place in the semi-finals. Mind you, we said that in the previous frame, then he broke down and Tom Ford cleared up. Guodong looking good at the moment. On table number 2 as Jack Lisowski gets a good cue ball, acknowledged by Mark Selby. Guodong just a couple of pots away from victory on table 2. Still going on a break of 66 now. Mark Selby's caught that too thick. Needs the cue ball to run behind the blue. He's covered the red to the right corner. He might have left the red next to the red to the right corner though. Yes, Jack can get to this. He'll be taking this on. Forcing a safety, a rare safety error for Mark Selby. He's spotted the red, but he's not really good on a colour here. He is on the blue though. We're taking this on. Zhao Guodong is all but over the line on table 2. Still going. On a break of 74. Good pot in the blue by Lisowski to keep the break going.
6. Seven.
Didn't get into that. Wanted to be top side of the blue. Gonna have to go around the angles. Plenty of action on the cue ball. That's pretty good, isn't it? Although, is he quite straight on this red? Black's tied up. He's going right-handed here. Going to try and punch it through off the cushion here.
30.
Well, that looks pretty good. Pleased with that. So he's got the blue. He's got a red at the bottom of the main cluster, which does pot to the left corner, I think. He might decide to try and go into them. He's got a fair bit of angle. Just depends on how he sees it. Pink and black are out of commission at the moment. I'd like to open them up. Play the aggressive shot. He has got the loose red, a couple of loose reds actually. He's got a red to the right corner, just above the red by the black. He's got the red at the bottom of the main cluster, which pots to the left corner. He's going into them then at speed. Is he on one? He is. It's not ideal though.
80.
Zhao Guodong has knocked in a century. He's winning the match in style on table number 2. Keep you posted on how big the break is, because I might have one eye on the highest break prize. Well, that's a good pot from Lisowski. Queuing down, makes it missable. Still going. He's having to work hard for these. He's attacking the table, trusting his potting prowess. Zhao Guodong is on for the highest break next door. Not only has he won the match, but he could make a break of 140 if he clears the colours. Mark Williams holds the highest break prize of 138. But on table 2, Zhao Guodong could make a 140. Which after the last frame would be some achievement, having lost the last frame on the black. Jack Lisowski still going strong here. Jackie's missed the blue, took his eye off it, was hitting it at speed, and that could be big trouble for Jack Lisowski. Mark Selby takes a step back because Zhao Guodong has just won the match next door with a quite brilliant 140 total clearance, the highest break of the tournament so far, and he beats Tom Ford by 5 frames to 3. What a way to win the match by Zhao Guodong. Congratulations to him on a superb break of 140, the highest of the tournament so far. He's in the semi-finals. Who will join him? Will it be this man, Mark Selby? He's at the table, a chance to really build up a head of steam here. This miss from Jack Lisowski was a howler, though. He was, I think, more thinking about the cue ball going into the reds. May have took his eye off it. I'm not sure quite what happened. Only Jack knows. Did he lose concentration? Either way, it's given Mark Selby a very good chance to make a very healthy contribution. Selby needing just one more frame for victory. I want to jump on that mistake.
So, 11.
So he's got the red by the black out of commission, and the red not straightforward by the left side cushion, just a fraction off it. The other reds are certainly possible without too much trouble. Black out of commission, but the pink and blue and the ball colours are available. He'll be fancying the task. He's already had breaks of 98, 50, 132 and a 95. He's scoring very heavily.
70.
Seems to have the pace of the table. Again, he's perfect on the blue. Scores level. Mark won't worry about the red and black at the moment being wedged together. He'll pick off the loose reds, establish a good lead if he can, and he'll try and get the frame and match one.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Playing for the pink now to the left centre.
Зимовий правий лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Джек Лісовський виграє перший фрейм і йде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Pink here.
29.
Can't do anything with the cue ball, but he'll simply just try and roll the red in and play for the pink to the left centre, which is all he can do here. He's missed that. There's a reprieve for Jack Lisowski, which we didn't expect. Given the way that Mark's been scoring, okay, Jack's got work to do, but he's back in the frame. He'd just be relieved to be back at the table. So is there a twist here? Saw Jack Lisowski make an unbelievable clearance against Sean Murphy early in the tournament when he came back to win. Needs another one to stay in the match here. Make a big break to try and take this to a deciding frame. He'd like to have been top side of the blue. He isn't. Plenty of cue power, we know that. He'll need it here. And that's very nicely played.
6.
Now, has he got a natural to go into the red and black here? He's looked at it. He might be tempted to try and open up the black here. We'll see. Just got a bit of angle. That's worked out okay. That's worked out very nicely. He's opened the red and black. He's on the pink. Be pleased with that. So a reprieve, and Jack's played a couple of good shots already here. Still knows there's plenty of work to be done in this frame, but at least he's at the table. Scores a level. Is he far enough? For the red below the black?
30.
He is. An anxious glance there briefly, but he's on it.
14.
Big stage of the match, this. Struggled in.
22.
Have a good look. He's actually landed nicely on the black. This, thought at first he'd missed it. This is actually a nice angle. Just got to come over for the red. Just try and get in behind it. This looks good. Should be okay. Okay, I'd like to fraction more speed, but he's a left-hander.
29.
Oh my goodness me, I thought he'd missed that one. How's that gone down? Probably hit it too hard. It was going to stay out, but gravity took over here. Heart-in-mouth stuff. Look at this. Little shake of the head twice now. He's managed to stay in the frame. Black goes in. Well, given the circumstances, this has been very good from Lisowski. A couple of the shots in the break were top draw. Okay, a couple could have stayed out. But we're going to a deciding frame.
$46. 51.
Lisowski's second half century of the match. A nice time to get it.
57.
.64 break. Jack Lisowski stays in the tournament. And we're going to a deciding frame in this Kazoo British Open quarter-final. Mark Selby, Jack Lisowski, 4 frames all.
Вихід на чорний шар.
So welcome back. We're waiting for Jack Lisowski for the final frame in this one remaining quarter-final of the Kazoo British Open. And the home crowds lifted by Jack Lisowski's 64 break in frame number 8. It's all on one frame now for a place in the semi-finals.
Thank you, the deciding frame. Jack Lisowski today.
So Jack Lisowski showing good nerve, good character in that last frame. If he could get over the line himself, he would see it as a massive win, because Mark Selby's played well tonight. He's been the heavier scorer of the two. Not the best break off by Jack, that. That will cut to the left centre. Mark Selby's had a look. So first half chance goes to Selby. It's not there. Not missed too many, but that was I wouldn't say it's a surprise, because in a final frame anything can happen. Lisowski's half chance now. And that's in. And he's nicely on the black now. There must be a big temptation here to go into the reds. He's got a perfect angle to go into them here. Okay, he's got a few loose reds to the right of the pack, but look at the angle on the black. It's a natural. He's got the cue power. Just depends on how he sees it. But there must be a big temptation to go into them here. If it goes right, my goodness, could be a chance for Jack Lisowski. Well,
Jack Lisowski what?
He's missed the black, unfortunately. And he didn't really go full throttle into the pack. Perhaps he felt that was making the black more missable. As it turned out, he missed the black anyway. But final frame. There's real pressure on any half chance. Look, Selby's overcut that. Was he in off? Not quite. Both players missing a couple of early chances, half chances. Could have been easier for him, but he'll be disappointed he overcut it. Jack Lisowski now eyeing up this red to the corner pocket to test if he's cueing now. Both players in fact, Jack turning it down is just going to go into the reds here. We could have a bit of a stalemate here.
Yeah, re-rack.
Yeah, re-rack, there we go.
Leo, re-rack, please.
No messing around. Either player willing to take the risk, understandably, with the red over the pocket. You can understand it in a final frame. At least there's no messing around. They just both agree straight away. Let's get them racked up again.
The deciding frame. Jack Lisowski to win.
So final frame, we'll try again. Jack Lisowski to break off. Better break than the one previously. Just having a look at that. Will the red go up to that yellow pocket? I think it does. Mark Selby, I think we'll take this on. It's a good shot. It's nicely on the black. Well judged. Couple of loose reds to the left of the pack. I'm not sure if the red at the bottom of that cluster goes. We'll see. He's played for choice of reds here. Got the red to the right centre, nearest to the cue ball. He's got the red, I think, at the bottom of the pack, which will go to the right corner. like it would be the green. Not ideal, really. Like to bring the cue ball back round to the left of the table where he is now, to maybe get on one of the reds to the right centre. Keep his foot, of course, on the floor. Be on tiptoe. That's what he's trying to do. He needs that cue ball to travel. Cue ball though.
This one.
Вихід на чорний шар.
Ooh. I don't think he's done any damage though.
Симовує праву лузу.
Martin mouth though for Jack
Вихід
Lisowski,
на
but
зелений.
not left anything.
І Джек Лісовський виграє перший премії, веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Лісовський. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
Jack Lisowski having a look at this red to the left corner. Well played. Now, will he play the roll up behind the yellow? Will he play the really attacking shot, try and pop the yellow? Yeah, it's the roll up, don't blame him.
Jack Lisowski won.
Judged it well. Good pace judgment for Mark Selby. So Lisowski from range. Mark Selby's got the red, I think, to the green pocket, which will be taking on.
One. Four. Five.
Selby then back in. Not straightforward though, quite a few reds in each other's way.
$11. $12.
Looks like it might be a plant here. Mark's had a good look at this.
Вихід на чорний шар.
For the pink,
80.
to the right centre. Coming in, there's a little bit of distance between the two reds. Pretty well set though, it looks like on that evidence.
Забиваю правий лозу. Вихід на зелений. І Lisowski виграє перший фрейм в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Лишається Lisowski. 4 фрейма до перемоги в цьому матчі.
So nicely opens up those other two reds.
25. 26.
Bit short of pace here. Like that one again. All is not lost yet for Jack Lisowski. Looks like Marcus looking to play a good safety here. He's got a decent lead, 37 points. Not yet looked to that blue, to the yellow pocket. Percentage game, you feel, is the likely choice. In fact, he's
26.
chipping the blue to the left side cushion to make it a more difficult table. So blue's out of commission. Clever shot, gets the cue ball into a good position. Covered the loose red. Jack will, can he get off the reds and back up the table? He needs some cover from the green here, and he's not got it. Mark won't be turning this down. It's straight. Can hold for the pink though. But this is a test of Mark Selby's cueing. He decided to punch it in. Did it very nicely. And he's nicely on the yellow. Could take the brown. I think the yellow is the likely option. He cued that red. If he plays the yellow, he'll avoid the blue. But he's got loose reds to play for. This is a chance now for frame and match for Selby. The red then to the right of the pink. Good chance this, as Jack Lisowski played his last shot. So he can drop the pink in. He's got the red, a couple of reds he could play for. Very, very strong favourite to win frame and match from here. Got the added commission of putting the blue out of harm's way in case he was to break down.
So. 11.
This pink will put Mark Selby 54 points ahead with 59 on the table. Just one more red required after this pink for Jack to require a snooker. Quick check of the scoreboard.
17.
And it looks like Jack's race has run in his home tournament.
18.
Mark's needed a couple of chances in the final frame, but he's been very solid. He's been the heavier scorer tonight. And once again, he's coming through a final frame decider, as was the case yesterday against Jack Lisowski. Sorry, against David Gilbert. Of course, Jack Lisowski here. It's the second
25.
final frame deciding victory for Mark Selby over Gilbert and Lisowski in 24 hours. He's into the semi-finals now. And he will take some stopping.
30.
We know he gets stronger as tournaments go on.
32.
Jack Lisowski had his moments tonight. He's just fallen short. Plenty to work on for the season. Great pot of the pink there from Selby.
38. 39.
And Mark Selby has made the odd mistake, but let's be honest, his scoring has been of a very high quality. And that is an excellent shot, demonstrating how well he is playing. He has at times scored very heavily tonight.
47.
This looks like being another half century, the 5th of the match for Selby. The Jester has been scoring well tonight.
50. 54. 59.
'He's potted the pink.
65.
Can he pot the black for a 72 break to round off a very good evening's work? Not quite.
Mark Selby, 65.
An excellent break of 65 though, and Mark Selby is through to the